ASN stars match and E-lean window times are all at 100%, which really boosted your overall score. You know, last month you guys were at a 9, and so far for August you're at a 60. So that's really good to see that improvement, you guys. And then I did just highlight these two metrics down here. That's ETA accuracy and 21420 timeliness, just because those are still the two lowest scoring metrics for you guys. ETA accuracy at 25% and 21420 timeliness at 0%. I do have the data for those two metrics that we can take a look at. Do you guys have any questions just on the scores before I go into the data? Correct. You know, it's high. Karen, do you know what the goal is for that one?
Well, obviously the goal is always 100%, you know,
right.
but you know, high 90s.
Yes, high 90s for these two metrics. I mean, all of them, like Karen just said, the goal is 100, but high 90s, as high as you guys can get.
Mm-hmm.
So for ETA accuracy, this is the metric where you are at 25%. I'm going to sort this. Well, I guess we'll look at it this way first. So this is sorted by date. So the most recent data is up at the top. So you had one good ETA on the 11th, and then two late ones, one on the 12th and one on the 15th. And then as you can see,
those are both rack moves, weren't they, Ashley? Did I read that right?
Yes, the two lates were on rack returns. So that's another important part of this metric, is that rack returns do count. So this metric is measured on parts and racks.
Does that make sense, TUML team? Because since both of the lates were on parts, maybe it's a communication or training issue just to make sure they know that ETAs on parts and racks are important.
Yes, I'm checking that.
I do have some examples down below that we can look at that may help us figure out why it is happening. So over here on the left side, this is an example of an early. This is on a rack return too. So your 21430, your ETA update is over here. And the stated ETA was on August 8th at 2:22 is when you guys said that the shipment was going to deliver. But then it actually delivered on August 7th at 22:01. So it delivered, you know, a day before. So it delivered early, marking it as the early for this metric. And then over here on the right side is an example of a late. So your ETA was stated that it was going to deliver on August 2nd at 19:25. And it didn't deliver until August 3rd at 11 o'clock. So that one had a pretty big gap there, you know, almost delivered a day later than what you guys said it was going to deliver. And that's really important to have it accurate so the plant knows, or the supplier knows when they are going to get their racks back, or the plant knows when the parts are going to arrive.
Okay, that happens when our McLeod automatically change the era, and then I change it again. That's the reason. First, in the one that is late, you have first. We are going to deliver on the second, and then we change it delivery time on the third. Because we don't deliver. Yes, because we only deliver on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And on the second is a Thursday.
Okay, so what needed to be done there is that another ETA update needed to be sent to reflect that it was going to deliver on the 3rd. Does that make sense? So this is 2 separate transactions. This is your ETA update, your 214.30, and this is your 214.40, your actual delivery. So that's good that it delivered, on the day it was supposed to. It's just that your ETA needs to be updated to reflect that.
Yes. No, I changed it manually, but then I don't know why they changed it again. On the Thursday changed it again. Because I always change it manually. Yes, I understand, but
Me
I don't
voglio
know.
a
I
salire
always
sto.
change it manually,
Momento
and
de
then
pago.
in the EDI,
Pues,
when the
déjamelo,
EDI
vuelvo a meter a esa
made
tarjeta.
a transaction, it changed it, and then I again change it manually, and then it appears like another time. That's the reason that we told you last week. Yes.
Let me look up something for you. Let's see. Yep. Okay. So this is what I'm seeing. Ashley, may I share my screen
Of
based
course,
on
go
that
ahead.
reference number that you found?
Yes.
So what I'm showing right here, if everyone can see my screen, it looks like a EDI 30 came in at an 8-1. Let's see. I don't know why these process times are backwards. Okay, so we have an EDI on 8-1. Then we've got a manual on 8-1, and maybe that's the one you're referring to. And then another EDI on 8-2 at 11:36. So Ashley, that ETA that you're showing that was measured against, what was the process time of that one?
It probably matches because it says 1936, which is probably that's in Eastern, and your report is probably in GM time,
It's
right?
Yep, it's in Greenwich Mean Time.
Yeah, but the minutes are the same. It's 1936. So.
Yep, that's it. So that is an EDI one. Yep.
Understood. Okay. So yeah, because this metric is looking at your last ETA that's submitted. So it sounds like the EDI is overriding that manual submission. So yeah, maybe just some kind of tweak with your EDI that needs to be done, a change with it.
Hey, Ashley, could you share your screen? Actually, maybe I can do it from stars. I'm just wondering if it's easier to see those process times looking at it from the star screen. Let me see if I can do that.
Correct. And Karen, it was pulling it up right now, which may help us get a better visual of it.
Right. So there we go. So this is the one. And Ashley, this was the last one that you said, the 36?
Correct, 1936.
And that was the EDI. See, this is my only question though. Why is your last EDI on August 2nd at 1936 and it didn't deliver? Well, I should look at the delivery time of this though. It delivered on August 3rd at 11 a.m. So really, you would have had time for another manual too, since it didn't deliver until 8/3 at 11 a.m. Yes, which one? Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Well, and basically, it's if this load delivered at 8/3 at 11 a.m., Stellantis wants an ETA to be of 8/3 at like 10:01 to 11:29. See how so any ETA that would either say 10:01, 10:02, 10:03, 10:04, or all the way up to 11:29 would be considered accurate. Right, right. Yeah, that's what an ETA is considered accurate. Now, or you can have your EDI submitting them, because if your EDI is set up to submit accurate ETAs, that's fine, but you just have to have them submitting one closer to delivery with a more accurate ETA.
Perfect. And Stellantis does prefer, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Karen, but they do prefer your EDI, your transactions to be via EDI
Yeah.
over manual. So, maybe there's a workaround that you can still have it submit via EDI, but like Karen was saying, just a more accurate ETA.
And what we could do at our meeting, do we have one of these scheduled for next Friday, Ashley?
No, but I will set one up.
Okay. Basically, just kind of looking at the most recent examples. That way we can, get fast feedback to your team.
For sure. And even if I see something in the meantime, if I have time to look through your guys' transactions, I can send over examples that I'm seeing. Okay.
Mhm.
Right. Okay. So are we clear on ETA accuracy before I move on to timeliness, or do we want to go over more examples? Do we have any other questions?
Yes.
Okay, I'll move on to timeliness then. So for this metric, this is the one with the score of 0%. So all of the transactions are late. As we said on the last metric, rack returns do count for this metric as well. So it's measured on parts and racks. And we can see here it's a mixture of, this was a part load, this was a rack load. So it's kind of all mixed up. And then here's an example down here of a late 21420. So what this metric is looking at is your actual departure time, comparing it to your process time of your 21420, which is your departure from the supplier. So on this example, you departed on August 9th at 1517 Central Time. So that would be 1617 Eastern Time. And then it wasn't processed until 1851 on that same day. So for this metric, you have 30 minutes to process your 21420 for it to be accurate. So again, this may be something you have to get with your IT team, your EDI team, to get those 214.20 cents, quicker over to us, so then they can get processed more accurately. Okay, great, thanks. And I can do the same thing with this one. When I start to see more recent examples go into focus, I can send them over to you guys. And hopefully we'll start to see more be on time compared to all of them being late. Perfect. And if you have any questions while working on it, just feel free to reach out to us. We're here to work with you guys and help you out. Of course. And I will send these examples over to you guys, so you have them and can reference them. But before we hang up, does anyone have any other questions for today? All right. Well, thank you everybody for your time today. I really appreciate it. And I hope everybody has a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.